ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, שהכל נהיה בדברו.
The Torah describes Noah as a tzaddik. He was a just man, was correct in his generation. Noah was exceptional because, notwithstanding that he lived in a time when immorality was everywhere, he resisted this tendency and he maintained himself firm in his ethical behavior. The interpreters of the biblical text emphasize the phrase, in his generation, he was a tzaddik. In other words, when compared with everybody else living at that time, he was a fine man. But had he lived in another age, namely at the time of Abraham, maybe he would not have been considered such a righteous man. In other words, maybe Noah wasn't a complete tzaddik. He wasn't a complete just man. His faith wasn't constant. As a matter of fact, our rabbis say that he entered the ark when the waters were already starting up on his legs. He realized that soon everything will be covered by water. Noah actually spent 120 years building this enormous ark. It was time enough for people to pass by and ask him, Noah, what are you doing? So he would say, I am building something because God is going to destroy the world and we're all going to perish unless we change our ways. Well, people obviously didn't listen to him. Why didn't they listen to him? Maybe because Noah wasn't convincing enough. Maybe because Noah had doubts. Did he have doubts about God's existence? I don't think so. The doubts were about himself. Was he really worthy to be saved? Or maybe not. And, many a time, people suffer from that syndrome. Are we really capable of doing certain things or not capable of doing it? We have doubts about our abilities. And maybe this is what Noah was expressing somehow. But each and every one of us, many a time, has doubts. Don't we have doubts when our children ask us about what career should I enter into? What university should I choose? Nowadays, the way things are, it's a very difficult question to answer correctly. When they're about to get married, is this the right person for him to spend the rest of his life or not? Well, we many a time have doubts. We have doubts about ourselves. What I'm trying to say is that to have doubts is normal. You may be ill and you think that you're going to get better. You're not going to call the doctor for every little thing. But as time passes by and you see you don't get better, you better go to a doctor. Don't rely upon yourself. Don't be ashamed that you have to ask for help. You have a problem in your family and you really don't know how to solve it. Maybe you should ask a lawyer. Maybe you should ask a rabbi. Maybe you should ask a priest. Don't be ashamed of the fact that you have to ask for help in order to come to a certain decision. Nowadays we live in a world of specialties. There is a hand doctor. There's a doctor for the head. There's a doctor for the lungs. Years ago there was just a family doctor and that's it. Nowadays there's specialties. Things have become very complex. So don't be ashamed that you don't know everything. You're not supposed to know. It's impossible that you know everything. You have to take counsel with other people. And you have to know how to select that. But there's one thing you have to remember. After you look for help, after somebody gives you advice, the decision is yours. You have the last word. You may make mistakes. We all make mistakes. Even with the help of others, we may make a mistake. But I want to tell you that with every decision that you make, you're going to become better the next time in making a decision. The worst thing you can do is not to make a decision. Not to make a decision is a decision in itself also. I'm not going to face the consequences. I'm not going to face the problems. The problem remains. You have decided not to confront the problem. So I say to you, You are not an expert in everything. Everybody has doubts about himself. Go and seek help. As time passes by, you will learn where to seek the right help. But remember, in the last analysis, the decision is yours. But even if you make the wrong decision, and I want to emphasize that, don't be discouraged. You made a mistake. It's human to err, but you will make less mistakes in the future. Each mistake is really a step of learning. You will do better next time. You didn't do so hot this time, you'll be much better next time. But remember, the responsibility is yours in the last analysis. You're the head of the family, you're a member of the family, a friend asked you for counsel, you gave the best that you could. But in the last analysis, the decision is yours.